This video is going to hone in on one thing, the problem that so many people face when they're trying to break into tech sales. And that is the problem of I'm not generating any interviews. Okay? This is without any high dopamine, flashy marketing hook. I'm going to cover exactly where you could be going wrong to help you actually move past this and start actually not only just generating interviews, but generating interviews at quality tech companies, quality job offers that are out there. Okay, if you don't know me, I'm Chad. I've made my first consistent 6 figures, 10K plus per month in tech sales remotely, and I've worked for one of the more competitive companies in the space, HubSpot, where I've been a top performer many times, ran trainings for many people. I've also worked with many high-level people to learn about interview prep before and during breaking into this industry. So I know what works and what doesn't straight from these high-level sales directors and managers that you might run into during your interview process. So mistake number 1, just applying and doing nothing else. This is probably one of the most common mistakes that I see, where people are just like sending in an application on a job posting and they just leave it there. Okay, if you're new to this might be what you're doing, and it's okay. It's normal. It's normal to think that you just apply for a posting and they're looking for a person and you either hear back or you don't. Okay, it's normal to think that, but I'll tell you something. In this space, it's competitive. Okay, there's a lot of people that are applying for these roles, especially if it's a desirable role that has amazing pay, amazing brand recognition in the tech space that you're going to make good money in if you can get in, okay? It's normal to think that. And I actually have a story. So when I first started wanting to get into this space, I thought that the more applications I sent in, the better off I would be. Man, was I wrong, okay? There was one week, I think it was a week and a half, I sent in 200 applications, but I did nothing else. Okay? Out of all of that, I heard back from, I think, 2 people, 2 companies, and the themes with these companies that I heard back from was every other one I got rejected, okay, or I just never heard back. The themes with these is basically they were startups, okay, which there's nothing wrong with, but as a beginner, I would steer you away from startups because I actually ended up taking an offer at a very early startup where there was just like a couple other like founding sales reps, and it was working right under the CEO. The product was so new, it was just kind of trying to get floated into market, and I struggled. Why? Because I had no experience really, and this wasn't a place where I really had people that I could learn from, top performers, and it wasn't a product that people already knew or had already been proven to sell. And so you bet I had trouble booking meetings for it, right? And so this is what I want you to avoid, okay? And this is what happens when you just apply to tons of companies. You're going to hear back probably if you do it enough, but it's not going to be a role that might be the best for you as a beginner, okay? So here's how to solve this mistake. You have to go above and beyond. Now, you might not know this. You might know this, and I'm going to cover the future mistakes on people who think they're going above and beyond, but they're actually not. But here's mistake number 1. You have to go above and beyond instead of just applying and doing nothing else, okay? You have to do what's called doing the job before you do the job. You have to show, not tell. You have to show that you have sales skills by actually going above and beyond in these ways that I'm going to cover. And I'm going to give you some templates to just help you get this stuff done. But it's just not enough to just apply, guys, okay? So one of my favorite ways to do the job before you do the job and do what's called going above and beyond to show them you're actually interested in that company specifically and that you actually have the skill set to do an outreach is actually sending a personalized email outreach to a couple people, all right? Now, what is email outreach? Email outreach is basically what you're going to be doing in the sales role. You're going to be sending personalized emails to companies that you're going to want to break into and book meetings for, okay, as a BDR, SDR, which is the entry-level role here that we're talking about if you're trying to break in. Usually you break in as an SDR, BDR. Your responsibilities are to find new companies to reach out to that could be potentially good fits for the software you sell and send them personalized outreach or call them to try and get them on a meeting. So what you can do to do the job before doing the job is send personalized outreach or call them. You don't need to call them. You could just do one of them. You could choose one. I like personalized outreach because it's less friction for beginners to do. You could do that to them to book a meeting with you as the first interview stage or as a connect call, which I'm going to explain what that is, where you can actually potentially get a referral and also get some insight into the company so that when you get on an interview by going above and beyond, you have insight into the company, which will make you stand out. So here's what I like to do. I usually like to, after applying for a company, send an email to the hiring manager. Okay. Now this can look like, in the hiring manager, you can find on the LinkedIn post. If you scroll down on the LinkedIn job application, you usually will see, hey, so-and-so is the hiring manager, okay? If you can't find them there, you go on the profile, the company profile, you click people, and you search recruiter, and you just find them, okay? And the way to get their email is to go on hunter.io. Hunter.io. It's a website. You go on it, you put in the company domain, the website of the company that you're trying to apply for, and you'll see a list of people, and you could search the name of the person that you found on LinkedIn, the hiring manager, and you'll get their email. Now, this is itself a sales skill too. This also goes further and demonstrates that you have the skills because you know how to use a prospecting tool like hunter.io to get their email, right? Most people are reach out on LinkedIn, and I think you're better off reaching out over email because it shows an extra layer of skill to get their email. That's a sales skill. You're going to be prospecting in the role. You're going to be finding prospects and you're going to be getting their email using a prospecting tool of similar nature. Okay, so you can do the job before you do the job. So here's an email that I'd send to the hiring manager. Okay, subject line, I like doing their name / your name. This adds a higher level of personability, and you could do dash BDR role at company. Okay, you fill in the blanks. That's the subject. It stands out. It shows you exactly what you're inquiring about. And then let's get into it. So, hey name, hey hiring manager name, right? Reaching out after looking at your LinkedIn. I noticed you're the recruiter for area or region, whatever it is, for the US team, for the Canada team, for company. You can fill in that blank, whatever you want. And I wanted to show a little extra effort by reaching out after applying for the open position. To be honest, company, fill in the blank with their name, has been high on my list for some time. I have a deep interest in, and this is where you fill in, why are you actually interested in them? This is something that people miss. It's virtually impossible to get a job somewhere good if you don't have an actual reason why you want to work for them specifically. These people want to work with people who can get behind their mission, right? They want to work with people and hire people who are actually passionate about something about their company, right? They don't want to just hire someone who needs a job. You want to be that person, be that candidate who has a reason why. And so this is where you fill in that blank. Maybe it's you have a deep interest in company because what you've researched over the past few months is that you have amazing skill development. It seems like you have an amazing culture, and from what I've read, you've really impacted customers in a way that I'd be passionate in solving, right? That's an example, but ask yourself, what is it genuinely to you, and fill in that blank, okay? You can't template this. If you template this, people can smell it, and this is why I'm giving you guys a training wheels, but I'm giving you areas where you have to fill it in with your own juice, okay? Now, this is what I help people with in my one-on-one mentorship, which is first link in the description if you want to book a call with me to talk about that. But anyways, back to the email. I have X years of sales-oriented experience in various different roles. This could be any role. If you've worked any job, if you've done anything, you can say this, okay? Because everything to some degree is sales. Everything to some degree is you helping a company bring in revenue. Otherwise, you wouldn't get paid to do any job. So yes, even something as simple as working in a supermarket could be sales, okay? It could be sales-oriented, right? Customer facing, all this stuff. Anybody has this, okay? So you say, I have X years sales-oriented experience in various roles. I would love the opportunity to chat deeper on why my skill set could contribute to the team. Wanted to make your job a little easier, and I've attached my resume here for you as well, and then you just drag your resume into the email. Are you open to connecting this week? Would love to make sure that we get a chance to speak. There's a typo here, guys. Make sure you fix this. I added with too many times. For this hiring push before you close doors on applicants. And then leave your name, attach your resume, and send this out, okay? Now, this does so much for you, okay? The goal for this is if they respond, this is the person who is going to put you in touch with that first email, which is a phone screen, okay? Now, I'm going to leave a card up on the top right of the screen that has a video that goes deep into how I would pass a phone screen, okay? That's the next stage after this. But we're focusing on mistakes, on getting on the problem of not getting interviews, okay? So let's continue. Now, I wouldn't leave it there, okay? We sent one to the hiring manager or recruiter. Now, if they're not attached to the posting, again, find a recruiter, okay? The second thing that I'd do is I would send a personalized email to a BDR or an SDR. And the goal for this is really to get some insider intel, right? An insider intel, or potentially get referred. So here's the thing about referrals, okay? This is a secret tip that you can use. Most companies, they like to give incentives for their current employees to potentially refer other people. Okay, and usually these people can get a bonus if they actually refer somebody in to the company. Now they only get the bonus if that person gets hired, and so they're not motivated to just spray the bonuses out. They're not motivated to just refer anybody in. I mean, so if you make a good impression with them, it's a win-win for both of you guys, because they might see, wow, this person is well spoken. They sent me a personalized email, which is exactly what they're going to do in the role, and you know, I'd be confident they might get hired, and so I want to refer them. That's what these BDRs, people in the role now at the company, might be thinking. And so you can take advantage of that and make it a win-win by emailing them too, and potentially increasing your chances of getting that interview if they refer you, and also getting some insider intel, which I'm going to show you how to get, that you can leverage when you get on the interview by saying, yeah, I appreciate that. I actually spoke with Jennifer, who's a BDR over there, and she actually mentioned X, X, and X, and I'm going to show you what intel to get. But if you say that on an interview, when you get the interview, it's going to go so far, okay? It's all about standing out. It's all about being the top applicant, standing out, going above and beyond, showing these traits, which are curiosity, knowing how to actually outreach someone and book a meeting and make a connection. If you prove that to them by doing this, when you show up on the interview, they'll realize that. They'll be like, this person already gets it, okay? So here's the email that I'd send. And this is actually an example of one that my clients have sent. Yeah, hey, name, your track record caught my attention. Your track record at company caught my attention. BDR to AE in under 2 years, you know, is that kind of progression worth paying attention to, right? In this case, this was an account executive, which is also okay. They also can refer you into a BDR, SDR. And he just called out like what they saw on the LinkedIn. This is a personalization. It's a warm email intro, okay? Look, being straight here, there's clearly a big hiring push for BDRs right now at company, and company is the top of my list in terms of where my long-term career's goals are heading. I have a solid background in outbound sales, an interview coming up soon, and genuinely would want to make the most of it. Would you be open to 10 minutes on a call or a Zoom after the weekend? Any advice on navigating the interviews, hitting the ground running as a BDR from someone who's lived that whole stretch would go a long way, okay? You see, it's tying in the personalization. Given the competitiveness of the space these days, I know it could also be helpful to connect and get some insider scoops ahead of any interview process, trying to give it my best shot. Are you open to that? Appreciate you either way. This worked. This worked for my client. Now, is it the best email? No, okay. It's a little bit AI sounding, which is okay. I'm going to talk a little about that, but it works. And the principle is it worked for him because he went above and beyond. He called something out, and this person actually was motivated to refer him in, okay? So this is the goal of outreaching a BDR or an account executive, somebody in the role already, okay? And now you might be wondering and worried, like, okay, well, what do I say when they actually get on the call? I got you, all right? This is called an informal interview, okay? Treat it just like you would a real interview. Show up clean, right? But the reality is it's no pressure. You just want to show curiosity. Ask them, hey, how's your week going? Hey, how has your experience been? What advice do you have when I started out as a BDR, right? When you started out as a BDR, what challenges did you run into when you first got hired to succeeding in your first like 5 months? What advice would you give someone starting from that point, right? Ask them, what advice would you have on the interview process if you can think back? Do you remember anything that stood out? How can I be best prepared, right? And then just end the call, right? Don't ask for the referral. If they like you enough, trust me, they realize it and they'll offer it to you, okay? So this is how to do that, right? Now, I'm going to give you another play that you can use that is actually going to help you. And I would do this for every company as well. I usually like to reach out to 3 people per company. The recruiter, hiring manager, which could be it's the same title. Recruiter, hiring manager, doesn't matter. A BDR or an account executive, okay? And then this third one is a BDR manager or a sales leader, okay? Someone who's in a manager or a leader sales position. I would reach out to them with a personalized email as well, and I'm going to show it to you. But I want you to know, each company you apply for, you want to go this far. You want to do 3 because you're maximizing your chances instead of just like applying, sending one email and giving up. You're going far, and that's going to show a level of above and beyond. This is how you break into, like, a lot of my clients will get into interviews at some of these biggest companies out there, HubSpot, Deal, Butterfly MX, 1Password, like these big companies, okay? And this is because they go deep. This is what I help people with. You go deep, okay? So the BDR, SDR manager, or sales leader, here's an example. Subject line, again, I like keeping it the same. Your name / their name, or sorry, vice versa, / role title at company. Now, you could do anything here for the subject line, but you want to start it with name / your name, okay? Hey, name, reaching out after noticing you're the BDR manager over at company. And then you want to make a personalized call out, okay? I'm not going to template this because it won't work if it's templated. Call out something you see. Did they maybe start as an SDR? Did they maybe promote into account executive and then became a BDR manager after that? Call out something that stands out to you and then tie into why that makes you interested in speaking with them, right? For example, I see that you started as an SDR 4 years ago and moved your way all the way up to manager. That's honestly why I wanted to reach out, given the level of expertise and the lens you have at the company. And then you move on. Look, I'm sure you guys get hundreds of applicants and this is a competitive role. So I wanted to go out of my way to demonstrate to you a little bit of my sales skill set. You can even do parentheses, grabbed your email using a prospecting tool and figured I'd be a bit personalized here. Okay, they're going to get that. That's you doing the role before you do the role. Okay, company has been high on my list for some time. I have a deep interest in, and then you plug in again why you're specifically interested in them specifically. And again, if you don't have this, you have some work to do, okay? You're not approaching this the right way. You have to actually be interested and have passion for what you're approaching, okay? Even if it's just because you want to make more money and you feel like they'd be a good structure for that. Ask yourself, why them? Why them? Everybody has reasons. You got to find out what they are. Okay. I have X years of sales oriented experience in various roles, and I'd love the chance to speak with you or gain some insight into what makes standout candidates specifically at your company. Would you be open to a quick call as I prep for my interview process? I think it could go a long way, and I'd love to demonstrate why I believe I'd be a great fit for this role. Do you have 10 to 15 minutes this week for a phone call or Zoom? Appreciate it either way. Attaching my resume here to showcase a little bit of my background, and then you drag your resume in a PDF format, and then you sign off your name. Okay, now the goal for this is they'll do one of two things. One, they might really like that you sent them a personalized email, and they might forward it to the recruiter or hiring manager that's going to be involved in your first interview, and that they might say, hey, I like how you did this. I'm putting you in touch with so-and-so. We're going to get you on an interview. They might do that, and you might not speak with them. The other thing they might do, and it's honestly a little more rare, but it's really just about getting this across, okay? But the rare thing that might happen is they might actually agree to have a call with you. And in that case, here's exactly what to say. I'll put it up on screen, okay? It's the same thing. It's an informal interview. It's similar to the BDR Connect, but you just ask them like more intelligent questions. So you just start it off by saying, hey, how's your week? I appreciate your time. I really wanted to show and demonstrate my sales skills and also wanted to get a deeper look under the hood of your company to go above and beyond in my interview process to stand out. So I brought some questions if you don't mind, right? Now this would be a phone or be a Zoom, whatever they agree to. And then they'd agree and you'd say, cool. Well, look, obviously you'd been at company for X time. Call out something that shows that you looked at their LinkedIn, okay? What do you feel like is the biggest challenge you see for new BDRs specifically at your company? Ask them this, right? This is going to give you intel. It's the same principle of what you want to do for a BDR when you connect with them. You want to get insight that can help you stand out when you get an interview, okay? Because it's not just about getting the interview. If you do this, you're going to see interviews being generated if you expand it enough, and that's going to be a future mistake that I'm going to cover. We're still on mistake 1, by the way. There's 3 more. There's 3 more, I think. I think there might be another one, but we'll see. You could ask them, what's the biggest focus on the team right now? What's the company really working toward? And how are current BDRs approaching that, right? You could ask them, look, I know that the typical sales-oriented traits that you're looking for are coachability, resilience, curiosity, commitment to winning. But what I want to know is, what do you feel like really makes a standout BDR or sales rep on your team or at your company specifically, right? This shows that you're not a newbie, that you understand that they're looking for these traits, but now you're asking what makes a standout person at your company. And that's going to give you a really unique and valuable insight and scoop of intel that you can use on your interviews to really stand out, okay? And then just thank them for their time. Say, I really hope to get a chance to hit the floor running as your company's very high on my list. Thanks so much for the insight, right? Now, don't ask for a referral. I never like to ask for it on a call. It's just too awkward. They will offer it if they like you and they feel like you'd be a good fit. They will. They're aware of it, okay? It's potentially a couple $1,000s extra in their pocket, all right? So they will offer it, and this has happened to me actually, okay? So that's mistake number one. You have to go above and beyond, and these are some ways to do that, okay? Now, mistake number two, thinking that you're going above and beyond, but you're really not. These are for the people that think that they're already doing this, okay? These are for you if you're watching this and you're like, Chad, I'm sending in these emails though, and like I'm doing it personalized, okay? I'm going to talk about why it's not working for you, all right? No offense, all right? I get you. It's just a knowledge gap, and I'm here to fill that for you, all right? Mistake number two, thinking you're going above and beyond, all right? You're either sending generic, vague outreach where you're not personalizing, you're not catching their attention enough, you're not calling something specific out about their company. Rule of thumb, if you could send the same email to another company, then you shouldn't send it to them, okay? If it's not personalized enough. There's no way that in sales you could just template out. Like AI would be doing this job if you could template it, okay? The way to stand out is personalization. And so if this isn't working for you, I'm sorry, you're not being personalized enough. You're sending it too vague, or you have too AI smelling outreach. If you're using M dashes, if you're using the AI language where it's like, it's not great, it's good. You know what I'm talking about? AI has a certain way of speaking, and if you use it enough, you'll start to realize that it sounds AI. It sounds like something a human would never say, okay? And so what I always tell people is make it personalized by humanizing it. Speak to text. Speak to text into AI and use AI to craft the email. It's okay to craft the email with AI. I like speaking to text because that way it sounds human when it gives you the output. And you even tell it like, hey, don't add any words that I don't say. You can tell the AI bot that, and that'll train it to humanize with you, okay? That's one tip. Okay, but here's a bad example of generic outreach. And I get, this is the same type of outreach that people complain about. I'm doing everything, but it's not working. Okay, look at this. Hey, Chad, this is one I got when I was at HubSpot. How was your weekend? I came across a few roles at HubSpot. I was hoping to find a few minutes to chat. I would love the chance to meet with you, learn more about the role, and see if there's a referral program. Please let me know if you'd had a few minutes to chat. I'm sorry, guys. These people at these companies, like I'll tell you how many, when I got outreach so many times by people, okay? I would be compelled to give people time when they took the time back to personalize, okay? You got to reciprocate. If I spend time crafting up an email and I've called out specific things about the person, they're going to feel compelled to give that time an equal value and spend 10 minutes with you, okay? Something like this, it shows that they could have just templated it to everyone, and I'm sorry, I was not compelled to answer. No offense to this person, but the same thing's happening to you if you're not personalizing. If you're sending generic stuff like this, it's just not working. I'm sorry. And so this is mistake number two. You think you're going above and beyond, but you ain't. I'm sorry. Guys, it's late. I'm fired up. I love making content. We're just having fun on this video, all right? I'm saying this all with love. I want you to win, but I'm calling out some things that you just need to click into gear, okay? So that's it. Now, the other thing to handle this mistake is you can get creative. You can get more creative. Like, here's something that I helped one of my clients do, right? I gave him amazing standout results, okay? You could send them a Loom. You could make a document with 5 reasons listed on why you want to work for them specifically, okay? This is another thing. You could do a Loom with this. You could do a Loom that has that you deliver like your tell me about yourself answer and your why sales and make it compelling. And you could send something like, hey, in this case, he already had an interview, but he went above and beyond to send something, right? And this is the other thing. You want to take as many chances as you can to go above and beyond. Send a Loom before your interview. Send a Loom after your interview, personalizing what you actually cared about, why you enjoyed it. Or send a personalized email after the interview or before the interview, giving them some extra insight. Hey, I know we have an interview later, but I just wanted to tell you this. But okay, but if you're watching this video, you don't have interviews. So you can still do a Loom and reach out and say, hey, look, reaching out, I see that you're the BDR manager at company, and I wanted to go a little above and beyond after applying to the role and send you specifically a video on why I feel like I'm a good candidate for this role. And then you just deliver, tell me about yourself, why sales on Loom, or you do this play and you have a Google Doc where you're just walking through 5 reasons why you want to work for them specifically, and then end it off like, hopefully, I get a chance to speak with you or the team on an interview and just wanted to go above and beyond given the competitiveness of the role, okay? Like, get creative with this, right? Get creative with it, okay? There's a million things that you could do. Get creative with this, and Loom is free. Loom is free. You can just download it. You can make 5-minute max videos for free. You don't need more than that. And you could send it to them and make it look like this, right? Okay, so get creative. Go above and beyond, further than what you think is above and beyond. And that's the mistake number 2 that people are making. They're not personalizing enough. They're not getting creative. They're not taking advantage of getting noise in there. You're never going to annoy these people. People think that they're annoying them. No, I'm sorry. If you're sending them, and this gets to the mistake number 3. This brings me to mistake number 3. You're never annoying them, okay? The other problem is if people are doing all of this right and they're not seeing results, is you're not following up enough or at all. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You're not following up enough or at all. It's not enough to just send this. Now, yes, more than likely, if the first touch email outreach and creative plays that you're doing to go above and beyond and reach out to these people personally, if that is good enough, it's going to work on the first try. But sometimes, just like in sales, you can write the best emails, you can have the best stuff, and you'll still get ghosted. That's the nature of how things work. And so you need to follow up. Okay, and you've already put in all the hard work. Follow-ups are super simple, okay? Look, I'm going to give you guys templates here, but what I want to let you know is if you're doing this right, you've sent them an email, not a LinkedIn. And so you can follow up by replying to that same email and referring to it. What do I mean by that? A lot of people think following up should be a new, fresh email. No, I'm sorry. You've done hard work in the first email. You reply to it, and you send them something like this. Hey, Name, just bumping up my last email. I know you're probably super busy with the end of month approaching. Would really appreciate any thoughts on this. Like I said, I'm really interested in company because of specific reason, okay? You reiterate that. And any insight you'd have to share would really go a long way. Appreciate you. And then sign off. Okay, this is a follow-up. You're referring to that email and you're adding a little bit of color that's showing, whoa, this guy cares. Whoa, also, this guy's doing sales, because in sales, you got to follow up. I worked in enterprise, guys. If I didn't follow up on my stuff, it would never get read, and it's just the name of the game. It's the same here. This is a sale. This is you closing your first deal. This is you booking your first meeting if you haven't been in sales, okay? You have to follow up. So that's one way to do it. The other way you could do it is be multi-channel. Now, what is multi-channel? Is when you use different channels to reach the same person. This is a valuable sales skill. Again, we're showing, not telling. We're doing the job before we do the job. So I like to hit them up on LinkedIn too after I've sent an email and say, hey, trying you on LinkedIn as I sent you an email the other day with subject line this. I know you're probably super busy with end of month approaching, so I get that you haven't responded. If you get a second at all, would really appreciate any thoughts you might have. Like I said, I'm really interested in company because of specific reason, and any insight you'd have to share would go a really long way. I appreciate you. It's worth the time to flesh out a good follow-up, a good first touch. It's worth the time. It's more worth the time spending more time on one company and even spending one day just doing one company with good quality outreach than sending like 6 mass applies where you half-ass the outreach. That's not going to convert. It's better to spend more time on one at a time and going the lengths with that one and squeezing the juice out of that one than doing like 5, 6, 7 where you just half-ass it. That's the name of the game if you want to get a competitive role. Okay, that's the name of the game. Now this is the same mistake. We're still on number 3, where you're not following up or following up at all, where you're not following up enough or at all. So most people will follow up once and then give up. Okay, here's some other follow-ups. Sometimes follow-up, the magic happens in the 3rd or 4th follow-up. So if you're not doing that, I'm sorry, you're not going far enough. And I'm talking every single person you've reached out to at the company should be followed up with until you get an answer. Okay? Until you get an answer. So here's some inspiration. Hey, Name, just bumping this one last time. I don't want to bother too much. And again, we're replying to the same thread. You want to build a thread of the same email. You don't want to do new emails for follow-ups. You build a thread because when they open it, they might open it when the 5th email comes in and they'll see your first email, which you've worked hardest on. You've worked hardest on it, okay? That's the trick. So, hey, Name, just bumping this up one last time. I don't want to bother you too much. I'm sure you have a lot of other notes swimming in your inbox. Let me know if you've had a chance to take a look at this. Sign off your name, okay? That could be the second follow-up, 3rd follow-up. You could do another one. Hey, Name, just trying this back one last time. I know there's a hiring push right now for BDRs, and I'm just trying to make the most out of my chances given companies high on my list. Let me know if there's any insight you could share, even if it's just a quick note over email. I want to make sure I shoot my best shot for this push. Otherwise, I'll totally be applying for the next round too and might have to check back with you then. We're being a little funny. Appreciate you either way, okay? Now, you could do these in the thread. You could also do one in the thread, one on LinkedIn again, follow up. Just take this essence and just keep following up with them until you get an answer. This is what you must do. You must do this to show sales. It's not annoying. It's showing them, wow, this person knows sales, right? It's making their job easier to be like, okay, this is a candidate we should consider. Let's get him on an interview, right? This is a mistake people make. Follow up. You need to, okay? Now, again, like I said, it might happen on the first email. It might not. But you're wasting your effort if you're not following up. Because you've done a lot of hard work, you might as well follow up and refer back to it, okay? So that's mistake number 3, all right? Mistake number 4, not reaching out to enough opportunities, all right? And guys, there's one more after this. I promise you guys, if you're executing on what I'm saying in the right way, this is going to start generating you interviews. I don't care who you are, all right? Now, yes, your branding has to be good. You have to have an actual decent resume and LinkedIn profile for this to work too. I have other videos on that. But for this and what we're focusing on is like why your applications aren't going through, okay? So mistake number 4, you're not reaching out to enough opportunities, okay? If I'm in sales and I'm just like putting all my eggs in one basket for one company, I'm sorry, I'm never going to hit my quota. It's the same for this. Your quota is your goal of getting into a role, getting into a good tech sales role. And I'm sorry, if you're not expanding your net a bit, it's not going to convert the chances of converting is going to be lower, okay? So you want to do and go deep on multiple companies at a time. I'm not saying mass applying and half-assing outreach. I'm saying intentional. I mean, what I tell my clients to do is focus on one per day, 5 days a week. Just one. And do intentional, go the lengths with it. Make those connections. Send that personalized outreach. Spend time with it. Follow up each day on the one you did yesterday. And do that instead of like just apply, and half-ass some generic outreach. Okay, that's how you win. So that's mistake number 4. Expand your net, but not to the extent to where it's impossible to get quality approaches out. Okay, so I'm talking like 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 companies. Okay, not 200 like I did. I made the mistake. All right. Now, mistake number 5, and this is the final mistake. And let me tell you a story. Okay. When I first approached HubSpot, all right, after the startup, after I learned and got the right mentorship and help to understand these gaps that made the difference between me getting into a company where I would stay stuck at like 50, 60K a year for a year or two, or getting into a company like HubSpot where I started making 6 figures, not 7 figures, 6 figures in 7 months. Okay, I started making 6 figures in 7 months because I got into the right role and I went above and beyond. But here's the thing, I got denied. I applied and I got denied. I got automatically rejected. Okay. Now, mistake number 5 is people give up when they get automatically rejected. Did I give up? No. And what I did was I sent personalized outreach to an account executive who I made a good impression on, and they referred me, and I ended up a week later getting an interview and making it through. Okay. I could have given up. But I didn't. And this is a mistake people make, is they get auto-rejected and they think that their chances are done. Okay, let me ask you this. What type of salesperson would you be if you didn't handle objections? Okay, getting denied automatically without speaking to anyone is an automatic objection. It can be handled. And actually, they'll like you more if you get rejected and then you send an email to the hiring manager or recruiter. I'll give you a template for this that you can use as a baseline. Again, don't template everything. Use your own creativity and words and speak to text your own emails, but I'm giving you training wheels, okay? If you template everything, it's not going to work. You have to use your own personality and humanize it and call out things. But anyways, what was I saying? The auto rejection, okay? They'll like you more if you handle it and you send them a note, because it shows the mindset that you're resilient, that you're committed to winning. It's actually an opportunity to demonstrate the skills that you have in sales, because you're going to face rejection in sales and they're going to want you to try and overcome the rejection and the resilience. Okay. So if you can do that now, it's going to actually be an opportunity to get a better chance at getting a good impression on you. All right. Do you get it? And here's the other thing. Usually these companies don't look at every resume. They have what's called an ATS, an applicant tracking system, where they use AI to filter out 50% of the resumes, okay? And so maybe your resume isn't the best and it just by chance got filtered out. That happens. It happens, okay? But it probably didn't even get human eyes on it. And so that's what you have to realize. The way to actually get a role is to go above and beyond. And so what you can do if you get auto rejected, and again, they could be testing you on, like it could be a test. They want to see if you have the traits. You know what I mean? So you could send the recruiter an email, and again, find them on LinkedIn, use hunter.io to get their email. There's no excuses, guys. Make the subject line their name / your name / BDR role at company. Hey, name, reaching out after getting a notice that I was denied for the BDR role that's currently open. I wanted to reach out because it looks like you're the recruiter over there at company. Look, I know you guys get hundreds of applicants and this is a very competitive position. And what kind of salesperson would I be if I didn't try and handle an objection? Okay. Now I just came up with this off the fly, guys. Is this the best email? No. Will it work? Possibly. Okay. Possibly. It's good to shoot your shot. Now you could even get creative. You could add a loom if you want. Go above and beyond is the essence I'm trying to pass to you. I'm not giving you a template that I think everybody should use. I'm telling you what can work, right? I'm not sure if my resume got disqualified because of the volume of applicants, but I just wanted to reach out to find out if there's any way I could get a second chance at least shooting my shot with a quick 5 to 10 minute phone call with you. I'd love to walk you through my sales background, how I feel I'd be a good fit for the role, and talk through anything you'd need to know in terms of me being a potential fit or not. Do you have any time this week to carve that out? I'd want to make sure I shoot my best shot given companies high on my list, and I promise you it'll be worth your while. Attaching my resume here for your convenience as well. Appreciate you. Now they're going to see this and be like, holy shit, there's someone who's actually not taking no for an answer. That's the kind of personality I want, and they might give you the chance, right? You could also follow up on this until they answer, right? Remember mistake number 3, follow up. Okay, now this is going to go so far. This is going to go so far, and it's going to give you another shot, okay? That's the goal for this, all right? Now look, obviously you have to be competent in selling yourself on the interviews, and again, that's another stage of this. What I'm focusing on this stage is if you're not getting interviews. Now, if you want help to master each stage of this and you feel like you'd benefit from getting some direct guidance, action steps, feedback on what you're doing to analyze where you're getting stuck and help you make sure that you're actually not settling for a role that isn't going to pay you well, but that you're actually shooting for what you deserve, which I think anybody can get into a good role. I've seen people do this from working at Starbucks, working in a restaurant, get into some of the most competitive companies in the space. I've personally helped people who were literally 19 out of high school who had no job experience get into roles where they have 6-figure potential. Okay, it's possible for anybody with the right knowledge and skill set. Okay, if you want help with that, first link in the description is my mentorship one-on-one where I help people in a deep way. You can check that out. You can book a call with me for free and talk about with me if that makes sense for you. Okay, now if you fix these 5 mistakes, guys, it's practically unreasonable for you to not start generating interviews. Okay, that's my goal for this video for you. All right, and my content, my goal is for you guys to win regardless of if you work with me or not. I'm trying to give as much value as I can out to the world. Okay, now you have to make sure you're covering all your bases. Personalizing, you have to make sure you're expanding your net wide enough. You have to make sure that you're going above and beyond, right? You got to hit all these bases to be able to convert into generating interviews, okay? All right, guys. So first link for mentorship if you want to navigate all aspects of this with me and get your hand held. Second link is my live community that I'm building. It's actually on sale right now to get in at a lower rate than I would charge. That's for people who can't afford my one-on-one mentorship. That's okay. Right now I'm doing 2 live bi-weekly calls, 2 per month, where I'm hopping on with a group of people in there. We have about 20 people in there right now. We're growing. So I'd recommend checking it out. There's also a full A to Z course, video course, where I walk you through what to do in video and literally like hold your hand through the digital screen. Okay. That's a more self-paced way with also some hands-on support. That isn't my one-on-one mentorship, which is where I'm helping people the deepest, that you could maybe take advantage of if you're not in a place where you can maybe afford one-on-one, which is cool. And then the third link is completely free. It's my book. Okay, I'm actually really proud of this. I plan on soon releasing it to Amazon after I ramp it up into a V2, which I'm going to be making. It's in the works. but that's a free book. Don't take it lightly, okay? I walk you through exactly this type of stuff, and I go through a lot of belief shifts and a lot of other things that you need to know, handling connect calls, interview prepping, even performing well in the role in that free book. A lot of people have read that from absolute beginner and have gotten results and broken into this industry just reading that and taking action alone. Don't take it lightly. Third link in the description. All right. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Watch one of the videos on screen if you want to keep binging my content because it's good for my algorithm. Check it out. I'm out for now. I hope to see you in another one for real. I enjoyed making this for you. All right. I'm out. Peace.